Hi, this is a message from Sharp Raleigh, attorney in California, about fiancé visas. And first, I'm going to discuss how the process works, and then also I'm going to give you some tips on and also discuss about the issues that people face when they file for their fiancé visa. If you are engaged with someone who is a foreign citizen, a foreign national, and you want to bring your fiance to the United States, you have to follow certain steps. The steps to follow: you have to file what we call a K1 visa with the Department of Homeland Security, also known as the USCIS. Once this visa is approved, it will go to the National Visa Center, where you have to basically file for also the affidavit of support, and also file for the DS form 160. And once this is adjudicated, it will go to the US consulate, where your fiance will have an interview. If he or she passes the interview, he or she will be able to come to the United States, and within 90 days you have to get married. All this seems to be all simple, but there are few steps and few many issues that we encounter oftentimes, because situations differ for people, and they can end up by getting themselves into really complicated cases when it should not be in the first place. For one, if you are engaged to your fiance, you can bring them on a K1. But if you're married, it's no longer the K1. You have to go through the process of I-130, and you can also file the K3. But we are not discussing about this here. So if you're married, you cannot use this. It's a big warning, because if you do that, many people think it's a shortcut, and then later on, when the USCIS discover they are married, it becomes a fraud case, and your fiance can get stuck there and might never be able to come back unless you get a waiver if a 212 misrepresentation and fraud charge is placed on them. So I repeat that: unless you are just engaged, not married, you should not use that visa. Now, this visa requires a few things. For one, you have to have met your fiance in the past 2 years. And in the past 2 years, you have to have something like a ring ceremony. And the way you prove that, you can show pictures, you can show letters from friends, etc. And you can that will prove that, but it has to be within the past 2 years you have met with your fiance. Now, there are a few exceptions. One of the exceptions is religious or cultural exceptions, where sometimes some religions will not allow the fiancé to meet, and in those cases, if you can prove you're a person of this religion, and you can and also if you are you can prove that the religion doesn't allow the couples to meet, you might be able to get away with the 2 year or within 2 years meeting. And also extraordinary circumstances can pretty much kind of do away with the situation of meeting in the past 2 years. Now, the other issue we are encountering: if you met your fiance on a website, if you met your fiance on a website, especially if it is a general website which is for marriage, it is not specific for basically doing mail order brides, you are going to be okay. But if that website is a website that only caters to getting people a fiance visa, you might have a problem right there. So one of the things that in the form I-129, when you fill it, you will see, and I'm going to go on the USCIS website, the form, they ask that questions right there, and the questions is basically how did explain how you met your fiance. And this is a form, you can fill it, but just the form is not going to be good enough. You have to put a lot of proof, and this is where it is important to have a lawyer. And the case, the form is free online. You don't have to pay for the form, but the knowledge behind it can be something which can make the difference between an approval or not. And when they will ask you to put an affidavit, basically to explain how you met your fiance. And this is very important. Just to let you know, arranged marriages are okay. I'm going back to this website now. Arranged marriages are okay, but fake marriages or fake engagements are not okay. It will be fraud. So make sure you can prove your case. And in order to prove your case, you have to show relationship, like if you have a correspondence together, chats together, and all those things can be very helpful. And lately they have been using a lot of the social media like Facebook, all those social media where you can correspond with your fiance. It will be good to put it in there. Now, the other issue that we are encountering also recently, as you know, the fiancé visa has been under scrutiny after what happened in the San Bernardino events in California, because the alleged terrorist was came on a fiancé visa according to the State Department. This is an issue of opinion, but the truth is they are really kind of cracking down on the fiancé visa, and they have kind of consolidated most fiancé visas in one place where they are really checking, doing a huge background check on the fiance, whether it's a male or a female. So be ready for that. If your fiance has traveled to certain countries, which according to the State Department are what we call the uh, uh, state-sponsored terrorism countries, you will have issues. You have the instructions how to fill it actually, but the truth is that these just give you the basics. But the tricks of the trade is really becoming important to get those cases approved, and we have done many of those cases, and we see the problems on a daily basis. And to have a smooth fiance visa, it's good to have an attorney now handling those cases. The truth is that back in the days, I used to tell people you can do it on your own, and the truth, you still can do it on your own. But the problem is that the small details can make a big difference. For example, at the interview, we had situation where people go and they ask, "Okay, did you get married with that person? Why are you coming on a fiance visa?" That person answered, "Well, we did get married, but it was not registered." Guess what? The intent of marriage is there. It's not good enough to get the marriage petition, but it's not good enough either to get the K1. Then they say go and register and come to a marriage petition. That's the good chance. The worst part of it, the worst case scenario, they can say you try to commit fraud by using a K1 instead of a marriage petition. So all those small issues can really make a simple, good thing turn into a nightmare. So we recommend that you contact an attorney to help. We have recently, well, not recently, in the past few years, we had a situation where someone came on a K1 without any problem. And then once you come on the K1 and you get married, you have to get married within 90 days, very important. And after that, you have to file for the adjustment of status. And if at the adjustment of status, you're going to be questioned about your marriage. And what happens if you don't pass the test? Well, you will be denied and you can be placed in deportation. We had a situation where that person came to see us while after she came on a K1 and then was placed into deportation where we had to fight the case. The problem is the procedure of the K1. So the K1 has specific rules that needs to be really argued, and you cannot really fight it. There are issues when you fight it inside the United States. So it became a big nightmare for them. Luckily, we were able to fight this case, and actually I have posted something on that last week, and it ended up being a big victory for us. But had they not contacted us and had we not known how to deal with it, that person would have probably been stuck right now. So bottom line, the K1 process is not the difficult part. What is difficult is where are you bringing your fiance from, and how you met your fiance, and how you prepare the paperwork. So if you have a good lawyer who is helping, it can really make a difference. And we have proven ourselves on the K1 visa. We'll be glad to help you. And anything I'm telling you today is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. The number to our office 510-742-5887. The website is piralilaw.com. And if you like our videos, please comment on them and subscribe to our channel. We will update you with more information as we go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with another video tomorrow.